Hello and welcome back to Teal House Farm. Today we're going to do some more planting in our no-till garden bed. So we're not going to complete planting today, but we're going to get a couple new things. We're going to do like our squashes today. So we've got some spaghetti squash and some winter squash and some yellow squash. We're also going to do our cucumbers today, some zucchini. You get in the squash theme here, right? That's the goal for today. I think that might be it for today. I still need to plant green beans, but those have to wait for our corn to start popping up because we're going to use the corn as the pole for the green beans. We've done it several years. It works really well. It's called the Three Sisters Garden, and I'll have some of our squash in there too. So we can't plant that quite yet, probably in about 2 weeks. And then we'll get our pole beans in the ground, and then the garden at that point will be pretty much all planted. It's kind of a drizzly, muggy day today. Kids are already outside playing. What's wrong? Well, we'll try them. But it's not super hot, which is nice, because if you watched my last video, Mother Nature, we are struggling. It went from cold nights, couldn't plant, to just super hot, and so then when we planted, the plants were struggling. But we've had a couple days of light drizzly rain, and the garden is really looking a lot better. See, nice and healthy and green. Still need to stake my tomato plants over there. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Still need to hill up my potato plants. I could go on the list of things that need done. Hey, get along. But we're gonna focus on this today, right? We're just gonna keep our brains focused on what has to be done today and not worry about the 10 million other things that need taken care of. What's all the screaming?
Hand me the dry bear blanket.
You want to get your boots on and help me plant some seeds? Okay, go find your boots. Other way, that's backwards. Okay, so first on this side of the garden we have our Three Sisters patch. We've already planted corn. The germination rate was really low on that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But we're going to go ahead and plant our butternut squash in between the rows of corn. I'm going to do 3 squashes between each row. So there'll be 2 rows of this variety, so there'll be 6 plants total. The construction manager brings over my package of seeds in case I forgot something, but we're all set right now. I don't need anything else. We're just going to finish planting these rows. And then next we're going to move on to our winter squash. He tries to steal that squash package too, but I'm faster than he is, so he's just gonna settle for stealing the camera instead. All right, Goobs and I get to work, same thing. We're gonna do 3 in between a row of corn, and we're gonna do it between 2 rows, so that's 6 total. These varieties of squashes are great for Three Sisters garden because they're going to vine out, which means they're going to make just a huge plant that's really going to block out any weeds that could possibly grow between our corn rows. Next up, we come over to the other side of the garden. We do a little bit of weeding, and we're going to plant some cucumbers. I do 3 cucumbers on a hill, and then I have these metal cages. Once the cucumbers sprout, I put these big metal cages over the top that allow the cucumbers to grow upwards instead of outwards. Last but not least, we're going to do our yellow squash and our zucchini squash. So for each of these, I'm only going to plant 2 plants each. And that's because 1, the plants get really big. And 2, the first year we lived here, I planted about 10 each. And we had so much squash that I actually still have some canned in our pantry. And Sam has banned me from ever growing that much yellow squash. Because honestly, there are only so many squash fritters and squash soup and squash casseroles anybody ever wants to eat. Next up, we're going to take a second real quick. This is a small strawberry bed. Oh, steals the camera again. That construction manager is always causing problems around here. We get him busy with something else. We're going to finish weeding this accidental strawberry bed, which I've talked about in other vlogs, but if it's going to grow here, we're going to let it grow here. So we weed it, and if the weeds don't have seeds in them, I usually just pull them and lay them down, and they'll create a moisture barrier around the roots of the strawberries. It'll help them stay a little bit more moist, even though we aren't getting a lot of rain right now. And then I look at my clock and discover I still have a little more time left, so we're going to get started on hilling up the potatoes. We aren't going to finish it today. I don't have that much time, but we're at least going to place the new ring of tires on top. So I have 3 tires here, so I'm going to place 1 more level on top of each potato plant. And then tomorrow, hopefully we can come out and we'll fill them with the composted manure from the goat stall. We hope to get each tower 3 to 4 tires high, and the potatoes grow in between the rings of the tires. You can see those are definitely ready to be hilled up. Lastly, I sneaked back over the corn patch. Like I said, germination had been really low this year. I think part of it has to do with just the lack of rain and moisture, but also the plants that I planted this year, they were from a package that had exploded in shipping, and I'm wondering if maybe they just were overexposed. So I have seeds left from last year, and these seeds did awesome for us. And so we're just gonna fill those into what didn't sprout and just kind of have a mixed set of corn here, but it's fine. It's all sweet corn. It can all be canned or eaten fresh, so it doesn't really make a big difference. So we're just gonna fill in the patches, and we'll have some corn that's a couple weeks later than what I first planted. Okay, so I will say one thing I've noticed about the no-till garden that we built, spent forever building, is that it dries out very quickly. Like, you have to water it twice a day quickly. And I think that's where some of the germination issues have come from. I am planning on putting some grass cuttings down when we mow the lawn. Let's put this down for a minute. To help that. But I'd just be curious if other people who have done this type of gardening have felt the same thing. I feel like my row garden in the ground did not have that problem. And I do know that having good coverage with straw is what you're supposed to do, or mulch, but it gets really expensive really fast. So we're gonna just try to use grass clippings and try to keep it as watered as possible. But that's been one, not like disappointment or like real downside, but kind of like, ugh, like this is supposed to be less work. It's supposed to be less money because we were using all of our stuff off the farm, but in actuality it's not. At least it's not yet. And I realize this is just year one, and a lot of this stuff it's built on year after year, so it's supposed to get better and better, but we'll see. Right now it feels like an awful lot of work, but that's also because I built it this year, and that was an incredible amount of work. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted. So far, now that it's rained, our plants are looking really good. So hopefully if we get some of those grass clippings down, which is free, just have to make sure it's grass that hasn't gone to seed, right? If we can get that on there to keep the moisture in, that'll take some of the work down and also help the plants grow. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you all really soon.